This is the first day of Advent of Cyber 2024, and we're going to start off with reading the story for this year's Advent of Cyber, and then we'll get on to the first challenge. How the Glitch Stole SOC-mas. In the tech-savvy town of Wareville, SOC-mas, the annual celebration of cybersecurity, was near. But lurking in the shadows was Glitch, misunderstood by all the wares in Wareville. Mayor Malware, charming but deceptive, was plotting to control Wareville by undermining its cybersecurity. Unbeknownst to the town, Glitch was silently fortifying the town's defense against unseen cyber threats. McSkitty Software, the town's brilliant cybersecurity expert, noticed strange activity in the SOC systems. Meanwhile, Mayor Malware, sensing that his control was slipping, turned the town against Glitch, framing him as the cause of every cyber threat. Following the digital trail, McSkitty Software discovered the truth. Glitch was protecting Wareville, not sabotaging it. Realizing the truth about Mayor Malware, McSkitty Software joined forces with Glitch to expose the mayor's treachery. The snow is falling on the tech town of Wareville, and all the different Ware families are gathering in the town square, getting ready for a town meeting. We see the softwares and the freewares skating down the neon-lit frost lanes. We turn to Server Street and see the hardwares and the firmwares marching downtown, festive server lights blinking and flickering in their eyes. It's time to start prepping for SOC-mas, the most joyous time of the year in the tech town of Wareville. If we lift our eyes, we'll see beyond the buzzing city, a snow-covered mountain of discarded technology, boulders of old printers, cracked monitor cliffs, and server rack ridges, held together by vines of Ethernet cables and a single old gaming chair at the peak. This is Mount Hackett, and no wares dare to go there. They fear it not because of the frequent floppy disk avalanches. The wares avoid Mount Hackett because of the glitch. The glitch's lair is hidden in a deep cave, and he's there now. He grabs a few cables hanging from the ceiling and plugs them in. Although not as new and shiny as Wareville's, his servers work just fine. The glitch has been watching Wareville's security for years, and this SOC-mas will not be different. The wares might fear the glitch, thinking he is an evil hacker, but it doesn't matter. Cracking his fingers, he starts typing, establishing the connection to the town's network. Time to hack. Back in the town square, Marta Mayware, the SOC-mas organizer, climbing up on the stage to address the town when all the lights suddenly flicker. All the wares look around, confused, but it passes quickly and everything returns to normal. In the city hall, Mayor Malware slams his fist on his desk. Blocked again, he shouts angrily. That insufferable glitch is at it again. The mayor's plan to stop SOC-mas preparation by sabotaging tonight's meeting was unsuccessful. He'll have to think of something better for tomorrow. In the meantime, Wareville's SOC is in chaos. Analysts are trying to discover what caused the sudden power surge that threatened all tech in the town. McSkitty Software, the town's leading cybersecurity expert, points at a log file on the screen and exclaims, "Now, I don't know exactly what happened, but this proves we had a connection from Mount Hackett." McSkitty runs out of the SOC and heads up the mountain. When she reaches the cave, she does not expect to see the glitch waiting for her. 2 cups of hot cocoa in his hands and his dog curled up at his feet. It takes most of the evening, but the glitch explains what he's been doing, protecting the town from Mayor Malware's evil plans. Looks like the mayor wants to completely stop SOC-mas from happening this year. The glitch knows the wares might mistrust or hate him, but he wants to help. Now united by a purpose, McSkitty and Glitch start their work on the Mount Hackett cave because they're the only ones standing between Wareville and chaos. Okay, so that is the scenario for this year's Advent of Cyber, but we will now get onto the day 1 challenge, which is maybe SOC-mas music he thought doesn't come from a store. So the story. McSkitty's fingers flew across the keyboard, her eyes narrowing at the suspicious website on a screen. She had seen dozens of malware campaigns like this. This time, the trail led straight to someone who went by the name Glitch. "Too easy," she muttered with a smirk. "I still have time," she said, leaning closer to the screen. "Maybe there's more." Little did she know, beneath the surface lay something far more complex than a simple hacker's handle. This was just the beginning of a tangled web unraveling every thought she knew. So the learning objectives for this challenge: to learn how to investigate malware links, learn about operational security and operational security mistakes, and understand how to track and attribute digital identities in cyber investigations. So for this one, we needed an attack box and we need to start machine. So you can do this by first clicking here to start the machine, and then if you go back to the top, you can click start attack box. This will take a few minutes to get set up, so I'll come back when it's done. Okay, so it's now all loaded up, so let's get started. So investigating website. The website we are investigating is a YouTube to MP3 converter currently being shared amongst the organizers of SOC-mas. You've decided to dig deeper after hearing some concerning reports about this website. Okay, so from your attack box, access the website by visiting the IP address of the room using web browser. So if we go here, got Firefox we can open up, and we can now enter the IP address of the machine, and we are now at the website. So at first glance, the website looks legit and presentable. The About page even says that it was made by The Glitch. How considerate of them to make our job easier. Scrolling down, you'll see the feature list, which promises to be secure and safe. From our experience, that isn't very likely. So YouTube to MP3 converter websites. These websites have been around for a long time. They offer a convenient way to extract audio from YouTube videos, making them popular. However, historically, these websites have been observed to have significant risks, such as malvertising, which many sites contain malicious ads that can exploit vulnerabilities in a user's system, which could lead to infection, phishing scams. Users can be tricked into providing personal or sensitive information via fake surveys or offers, and bundle malware. Some converters may come with malware, tricking users into unknowingly running it. What nefarious thing does this website have in for us? So, getting some tunes. Let's find out by pasting any YouTube link in the search form and pressing the convert button. Then select either MP3 or MP4 option. This should download a file that we could use to investigate. So it's giving us this link as an option. If I were to guess, it's going to be Rickroll, so let's see. Yep, never going to give you up. So we'll copy and paste that into here. That's right, you need to do this first. So clipboard, paste it here, and then you can paste it in here. So we will click convert, and we will select MP3. So with that done, we'll click download file, and it has downloaded a zip file. So we will go to where it was downloaded, which was in our root. We will now extract it. So extract to, and we'll just click extract. And we've now got somg.mp3, song.mp3. Yep, those were the two files which it downloaded. So to quickly determine the file's contents, double click on the terminal icon on the desktop and then run the file command on them. So we can also just right click here, open in terminal, do an ls just to make sure we're in the right directory, which we are. So we'll do file song.mp3. That is an audio file it's saying. And let's try file somg.mp3. And this one is saying it's a Microsoft Windows shortcut. So item ID list present, points to a file or directory, has relative path, has working directory, has command line arguments, an archive. Interesting. The output tells us that instead of an MP3, the file is a Microsoft Windows shortcut, also known as a .lnk file. This file type is used in Windows to link to another file, folder or application. These shortcuts can also be used to run commands. If you've ever seen these shortcuts on a Windows desktop, you already know what they are. There are multiple ways to inspect .lnk files to reveal the embedded commands and attributes for this room. However, we use exiftool, which is already installed. So we can do exiftool and somg.mp3, and it's coming up with more information for us. So we can see right here there is command line arguments. So it's trying to download a file from GitHub user content, mmwareville thm, is.ps1, and then it's trying to run it. Okay, we can read it here. So -ep bypass -nop flags disable PowerShell's usual restrictions, allowing scripts to run without interference from security settings or user profiles. The download file method pulls a file, in this case is.ps1, from the remote server, which is GitHub user content, and saves it to C program data. Once downloaded, the script is executed with PowerShell using the IEX command, which triggers the downloaded s.ps1 file. So what we could do is go to this website and see what the actual content of it is. So first prints the ASCII art, creates a directory for stolen info. It then goes through user profile, looking through hidden directories, trying to find cryptocurrency information, and it first then tries to see if the path exists, and if it does, it copies it to stoleninfo.txt. It then goes through web browser credential information, if it exists, and also saves it to the file. It then sends it to the C2 server, which is papashell.thm. Okay, interesting. So one thing we didn't notice, created by the one and only m.m, which I'm pretty sure are the initials of the mayor. So searching the source, there are many paths we could take to continue our investigation. We could investigate the website further, analyze the source code, or search for open directories that might reveal more information about the malicious active setup. We can search for the hash or signature on public malware databases like VirusTotal or any.run. Each of these methods could yield useful clues. However, for this room, we'll try something a bit different. Since we already have the PowerShell code, searching for online might give us useful leads. It's a long shot, but we'll explore it in this exercise. There are many places where we can search for code. The most widely used is GitHub, so let's try there. So it wants us to search this on GitHub, so we'll copy the link, paste it into here, and we will go to the search page. So if we look here, we can see there's the user mmwervel.thm. So let's go to this one. So it's saying, hey Blitware, I came across this pretty cool C++ script of yours and would like to use it for Wervel. My only issue is that I'm not too good with C++ and I don't really vibe. I'm much more comfortable with PowerShell. The code does some interesting things, like searching for wallet and browser credential files and sending the findings to a C2 server. I'd love to cross-check my PowerShell version of this, especially since my C++ skills are about as sharp as a butter knife these days. Appreciate any guidance. Please save me from pointer madness. Okay, so let's just skim through this. It's now sending the PowerShell code. Okay, so we know that this is the user who created the website and script, and it's safe to assume it's the mayor. Okay, so introduction to OPSEC. This is a classic case of operational security failure. Operational security is a term originally coined in the military to refer to the process of protecting sensitive information and operations from adversaries. The goal is to identify and eliminate potential vulnerabilities before the attacker can learn their identity. In the context of cybersecurity, when malicious actors fail to follow proper OPSEC practices, they might leave digital traces that can be pieced together to reveal the identity. Some common OPSEC mistakes include reusing usernames, email addresses, or account handles across multiple platforms. One might assume that anyone trying to cover the tracks would remove such obvious and incriminating information. Sometimes it's due to vanity or simple forgetfulness. Using identifiable metadata in code, documents, or images, which may reveal personal information like device names, GPS coordinates, or timestamps. Posting publicly on forums or GitHub, like in this current scenario, with details that tie back to their real identity or reveal the location or habits. Failing to use a VPN or proxy while conducting malicious activities allows law enforcement to track their real IP. You'd think that someone doing something bad would make OPSEC their top priority, but they're only human and can make mistakes too. For example, here's a real world of OPSEC mistakes that led to some big failures. So the Alpha admin takedown. One of the most spectacular OPSEC failures involved Alexandria cases. I'm not sure how to pronounce that. The administrator of Alpha Bay, one of the largest dark web marketplaces. Cases used email pimpalex91@hotmail.com in early welcome emails from the site. This email included his year of birth and other identifying information. He cashed out using a Bitcoin account tied to his real name. Cases reused the username Alpha02 across multiple platforms, linking his dark web identity to form posts under his real name. Chinese military hacking group APT1. There's also the notorious APT1, which made several OPSEC blunders. One member, Wang Dong, signed his malware code with the nickname Ugly Gorilla. This nickname was linked to a programming forum post associated with his real name. The group used predictable naming conventions for users' code and passwords. The activity consistently aligned with the Beijing business hours, making their location obvious. These failures provided enough information for cybersecurity researchers and law enforcement to publicly identify group members. So now, uncovering If you have thoroughly investigated the GitHub search result, you should have uncovered several clues based on the poor OPSEC practices by the malicious actor. We know the attacker left a distinctive signature in the PowerShell code, This allowed us to search for related repositories and issues pages on GitHub. We then discovered an issue page where the attacker engaged in discussions, providing more context and linking the activity to other projects. We didn't actually check other projects, so maybe in the repositories here, GitHub config files for my GitHub profile. And as we can see here, it's now saying I'm also known as Mayor Malware, so we've confirmed their identity. In this discussion, they responded to a query about modifying the code. This response, paired with their unique handle, was another critical slip-up, leaving behind a trail of evidence that can be traced back to them. By analyzing the timestamps, usernames, and the nature of the interactions, we can now attribute the mastermind behind the attack to So, what's next? As McSkitty continued digging, a pattern emerged that didn't fit the persona she was piecing together. A different handle appeared in obscure places, buried deep in the details. Who's McSkitty muttered. The mystery deepened. Even though all the signs on the website seemed to point to Glitch as the author, it became clear that someone had gone to great lengths to ensure Glitch's name appeared everywhere. Yet, the scattered traces left by suggested a deliberate effort to shift the blame. Okay, so now on to the questions. Looks like the song MP3 file is not what we expected. Running exif tool on song.mp3, find out the author of the song. Who is the author? So exif tool song.mp3. The artist is Tyler Ramsby. So now the malicious PowerShell script sends stolen info to a C2 server. What is the URL of the C2 server? So if we go back to the web browser and we look at the contents of that PowerShell script, we will see that this is the C2 server, papashell.thm/data. So we copy that, put that into here, submit. We've got that correct now. Who is MM? Maybe his GitHub profile page would provide clues. As we saw in that repo for, what was it, config, we know that the user is Mayor malware. What is the number of commits on the GitHub repo where the issue was raised? So if we go back to the crypto wallet repo, okay, it says there's one commit on there by hovering this, and that is correct. And that is all the questions we need to answer. So that is the first day of Advent of Cyber 2024 completed. If you like this video, make sure to like and subscribe.